Hi everybody, welcome back to another lesson in my level 3 beginner piano course. In this video we're going to learn Kohler's weak finger study from opus 300 number 102. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you like what you see, give this video a thumbs up. Also, I offer online piano lessons if you're looking for one. There's going to be information below. We are in the chapter about finger independence, which basically means working on letting the fingers move independently of each other, having more control over articulation and not having sticky fingers. This exercise by Kohler really works on strengthening fingers 4 and 5. We have quite a few patterns involving fingers 4 and 5, a little trilling whilst holding down the thumb in both hands. The entire piece should be played legato, but if you want you can play it once or twice detached to really feel the articulation of the fingertips and then add in the legato. With all of these finger independence exercises, I can't stress enough that it's 90% concentration and 10% muscle work. So don't try to push too hard, try to force your finger to stay down or push into the notes too hard, keeping your hand in a very strict position. Even though we're putting the hand in a more restrictive position because one finger is being held down all the way through, the other fingers and the wrist still should be able to move freely with the melody. So let's have a look at the first section, which is a study for the right hand. So it's andantino, so kind of walking speedish, but very, very important. Speed is the last thing you want to think about. You want to get clean articulation and evenness. If you can't get that at the slowest of speeds, there's no point to even try it faster because it's a waste of time, okay? So really concentrate on clarity and accuracy when it comes to these finger independence exercises. I would call this piece an exercise, not really a performance piece. So we're in C major, 4 fours, 4 quarter note, 4 crotchet beats in every bar. Let's start with the left hand, very simple. C, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then G, D, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're supposed to repeat it before going on to bar 9. Now let's have a look at the right hand. So as you can see, we have an eighth or quaver melody at the top, which is involving fingers 3, 4, and 5, and then the thumb is always going to hold either the C or the B. Now let's try to play first just the top melody, so all the notes where the stem goes up, ignoring the whole notes or semi-breathes. So number 4 under G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the reason why it's really important to do that is to feel that the wrist is going to move with this melody. As it goes to the black note up, we have a little bit of movement and rotation in the wrist to follow that melody. Once we put in the held finger 1, it's going to be much harder to allow that movement to happen, but it still has to happen. So play a couple of times just the top melody, and when you know the fingering and the shape of the melody, then start adding in the held notes. So 1 and 4, we're going to hold down the C for the entire bar. 1 and 2 and holding down the C, and now we're going to move to B and G, holding down the B. Keeping my wrist very soft and moving through the notes in a nice circular motion, back to C, G. Working on those fingers 3, 4, and 5, playing with the fingertips and very legato. Bar 5, C, G, a little bit of trilling, 4, 5. Then G, B, trilling still. And now we have a bigger interval, G and A, it's going to be 1 and 4, and then G, C, and B, G, holding down the B and finishing on the G. So being very careful to hold down the thumb where you need to hold it for 2 beats or 4 beats, and making sure that the melody is extremely clean and the legato is not sticky. Now, what I mean by sticky fingers is it could sound like this. when the fingers are almost sticking together and sticking to the keys. Now I exaggerated this, but what you want is really clean. So as soon as the next note goes down, the first one comes up, really lifting the fingers in the beginning to get that clarity of articulation. Later on you can reduce that lifting to the minimum, but in the beginning really feel the independent movement of those fingers. And as I said, you could also try it detached, just to get that nice key attack. Now let's put it together. Left hand is going to hold together with the thumb. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and making sure the chord notes go down perfectly together. Sinking into the keys, holding down, back to the G chord. C chord, trilling. Now we have the big chord, C, G and D, and finishing on this G major. Now dynamics wise, the first two bars are quiet, then loud, quiet, crescendo and loud. The only purpose of these dynamics is to have even more control over the key attacks, so you can play quietly with even more focus and attention to those notes when you strike the keys, and when you go loud to build that kind of strength in control and independence of the fingers. But first you can play it without any dynamics, and when you are really comfortable holding down the notes you can add the dynamics. Second section from bar 9 until the end is the exact same but mirrored, so the left hand is doing the work on the outer fingers and right hand is playing the chords. Let's have a look at the chords. 2-5 on the C, G, bar 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, B, G, 2, 3, 4, back to C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, up to the A, 2, 3, 4, jumping down, G, E, F, D, and E, C. Now you could do this separated, or you could do it with a lovely legato, as we learned in the previous lessons. Left hand. Again, I would advise to play the notes which are stemmed down, so the eighth notes, the quavers, before adding in the held notes. But now let's play it together. So 1 on the E, 5 on the G. Again, keeping the wrist very soft. And then D and G. G, A, B, A, back to E. Trilling. Nice and clean. G, and now this time we're going to put 4 because we're moving down, 5, and C and E. And here you can either use 1-4 or 1-3, whichever feels more comfortable. And 1-3. The original fingering is 4, that's why I kept it 4, but I think 3 might be a little bit more comfortable. And again, holding down the C is quite difficult here. 2, 3, a big stretch, number 4 and 5. Hands together. 2, 5. And G chord. To the C chord, G chord, but number 4, F, C chord, and then F, F sharp, G major, and C. There we are. So once again, really important to play it slowly, paying attention to the key attack, but also how is the hand feeling. If the hand feels tense, It means you're either pushing too hard or you're keeping your hand in a very, very stiff position. Let the wrist move, let the wrist go soft. And once you manage to play it evenly at a slower speed, you can aim for a nice andantino and add as much dynamics as you can.